feeling connected, your interconnectedness with Mother Earth, that is the most important place to start with cultivating your multidimensional tracking. Because if we have the attitude that we are not completely embraced and loved by the Pachamama, the unfolder of this reality, this dream, then everything we experience is going to be in a victim-perpetrator narrative. It's the opposite. We're taught, we got this stupid program going on in the light worker world, and well, in the masses, is that there's too many humans on this planet. There's not too many humans on this planet. There's too many humans for the systems of this planet to sustain, absolutely. But it's not about the humans, it's about the systems that the humans are captivated in. If every single person had a place to live and a little garden, and you know what I mean, if every single person had their place to be, there would not be this place. The earth can sustain many, many, many more beings than what she's sustaining now. Okay, but that narrative comes from the root mythology of we were all kicked out of the garden. Humans are sinners. Humans have been kicked out of the Garden of Eden, and now they have only thistles and thorns to reap. That is a deep, deep sickness implanted within the psychology that literally uproots people energetically from the earth and allowing themselves to be fed by the Pachamama. So that needs to be in place, realizing that everything we need to fulfill the purpose for our existence, we have right now. We have it right here. We have it. We've been lovingly gifted it from the moment of our conception. Okay. So I'm sorry, I had to lay all that out in order for my tracking talk to make sense. So tracking, getting back to that. We track with every aspect of our being. The spirit animal that represents the skill sets required for tracking, that spirit animal is the jaguar. And there's a reason for this. Number one, the jaguar is at the top of the food chain. Okay, when you're in the jungle, when you're in the forest or the mountains or whatever, the jaguar is at the top of the food chain. You're not. I know we want to think we are, but we're not. In artificial reality, in this society we are, but not, okay, not directly when it's a mano a mano. We're not the top dog. And that jaguar is completely at home. She is completely at home in the jungle. That jungle is hers. It's where she finds her food. It's where she spawns her children. It's where she mates. It's where she sleeps. That jungle is hers. So the baseline of her reality is, this place is mine. This place gives me everything that I need. The second piece to that is their behavior. A jaguar sits with complete stillness. They hang out in trees. They don't hang out in the ground. They hang out in trees. And when you watch a jaguar just sitting there, she's completely still. She's completely still. And they have nerve endings on every ounce of their being. So even their tufts of fur is taking in data, has nerve endings to take in data. Every whisker has nerve endings to take in data. So when she's sitting still in the tree, she is observing. She's observing, keyword, all that is around her, from her tip of her nose to the tip of her tail. Every part of her being is engaged in observing what's all around her. And because her senses are so highly honed, she is the most effective hunter in the jungle. And when it comes to coexisting with the jaguar in the jungle, It's all about being in right relationship with her. When in right relationship with her, she is revered, she is respected, she is loved. When not in right relationship with her in the jungle, you might be lunch. Okay? So her as a spirit animal to teach about tracking is really, really important for us to keep this in mind, because relationship is everything. It's not about being right or wrong, good or bad, good and evil, black and white, shadow and light, right and left. Nothing. None of that is true. It might be a perspective that we have a real experience from. That is absolutely true. The experience is true. But to say something is good or bad, right or wrong, is not true if you're coming from a multidimensional perspective. Okay? She teaches us about being in right relationship. If all of humanity was in right relationship with the Pachamama, she can sustain all of us and then some easily. But the fact is, we're not in right relationship with the Pachamama. And we're seeing the impact of that in our nature. So, tracking means you're utilizing your full capacity as a multidimensional being, and you are observing with keen focus. You're observing with all of those capacities at once. And this is one of the reasons why we call things data sets, because when you call it a data set, you can acknowledge, find words to describe what you're sensing, feeling, seeing, knowing, all these things without putting it in a box of a definition. So data sets, when we're tracking, data sets are coming in. Now we're going into the unknown. So when you get a data set and you're like, oh, I know that. And you get another data set, oh, I know that. And you get another data set, oh, I know that, right? You're shutting down the data set. That it's important that the data set comes in and it's, you're seeing it, you're feeling it. You know what I mean? You're experiencing it and then not having a conclusion. You're just with it. And because that data set is energetic, once you are really with it, with your different capacities that you have available to you, then another data set's going to come. And then another, and then another. And this is why we call it tracking, because tracking energy is like tracking an animal through the forest. Okay. As soon as you think you know, you've gotten off track. You've gotten off track. And this is also the key to getting to seeds of things. And if you can get to the seed of something and unravel it, that's excellent, because that means if that's that particular flavor of whatever it is completely done. It's completely unraveled. And you don't know if you're going to get to the seed until you do or don't. You know, we usually, if we don't, it's because we ran out of time or it wasn't time yet or whatever, you know. But when you have groups of people tracking, this is an exponential way to not only learn to track, because subconsciously you're with other people tracking and you're observing their skill sets and how they're using them. And then you're also getting multiple perspectives of the same energy, which is giving you a better picture, a more complete picture. But the problem is our training, how we relate to each other, how we talk, how we describe things, how we take things personally or not, how we relate to things, how we have a relationship within ourselves in these data sets. All of this stuff is part of what makes it an art form. And it takes, even in this time of massive acceleration, guys, it takes years, and I'm not kidding, years a personal cultivation and practice to learn how to track. And I don't care how psychic intuitive you are, it takes years because there's all this dismantling that has to happen from our subconscious, from our system, in order for us to be available to track at that level. You see what I mean? So tracking is following the energy into the unknown to wherever it takes you, and then coming back out with the energy, with the antidote, with a new story, a new myth to tell. And that myth is that of healing, wholeness, interconnectedness. Okay? That's how you know you got somewhere. That is what comes out of it.